The biggest thing really is the creation of what we call the COMELEC Campaign Committee. The COMELEC Campaign Committee is a multi-level committee, right? It exists at the national level, and then exists also at the regional and city levels. These COMELEC campaign committees, or CCCs, are tasked with establishing levels of category levels, is what we call them, um, in a specific locality. These category levels correspond with the alert levels used by IATF with the corresponding meaning. So, for example, alert level 1 would be normal, basically no problems, very minimal restrictions, and all the way up the spectrum to level 5, which is the strictest alert level. So we have a corresponding calibration of the campaign environment that will allow us to determine in that locality, in that municipality, what sort of restrictions will be in place for in-person campaigning. Just as an
Mhm.
example, if you have level 1, for example, then you can hold a rally that's up to 70% of the capacity of the venue. Whereas on the opposite side of the on the opposite extreme, you have a situation where you have category level 5, again corresponding to alert level 5 from the IATF, where in-person campaigning is absolutely prohibited. Right, so it's a range that allows us to be a little more precise in how many people we allow out of their homes to engage in campaigning activities. At the same time, for the first time since a long time, the COMELEC will be issuing permits for rallies.
Mhm.
In the past, physical rallies could needed only to get a permit from the local government unit, because the local government unit, of course, is the one with jurisdiction over public spaces. So if you needed to have a rally, then you'd have to go through them for a permit. But now you'd have to go through us as well. You'd have to inform the local COMELEC and the local CCC, or that's the COMELEC Campaign Committee, that you intend to hold a rally in so and so place under so and so conditions. This will allow COMELEC to monitor your compliance with some of the minimum health protocols, such as the requirement for a venue to have a stated capacity that you do not exceed. Another example would be that the venue should have adequate ventilation. So we will have all of these requirements for people before they are able to hold these rallies, especially if the rallies are indoors or in closed spaces, right? Number
Yeah.
three, and then very quickly now, we will be monitoring all of these activities through the help of deputized barangay officials. Meaning to say, again, for the first time, COMELEC will be reaching out to the barangay officials and deputizing them and putting on them the burden of helping us ensure that these health protocols are actually obeyed. Now, a violation of these protocols will be considered an election offense, which can be punishable by imprisonment of up to 6 years, or a fine, or perpetual disqualification from holding office.
Okay, I'm sure that those who are watching us at the barangay level have their ears peaking because, okay, de-deputize nyo kami. May sweldo ba?
Wala.
Aray
Wala pong
ko.
sweldo yan.
Aray
Government, ano yan?
ko.
Serbisyo sa bayan yan.
Okay, now related to all of that, so you're going to get the PNP to come in. You require rally permits.
Yes,
So
sir.
every candidate has to apply in advance. How early should they apply? Because syempre, they have to now make their campaign plans, their schedules, and every stop, every venue has to be pre-applied for, correct?
Correct, sir. And that they have a window of about 72 hours. We're expecting them to give us notice and to apply for their permits at least 72 hours before the stated rally. And of course, the
Mhm.
COMELEC will be holding itself to a standard of a response within 48.
Who will decide whether a candidate may or may not have a rally? Kasi you mentioned they need to ask the LGU, but they also
Right,
need to ask the COMELEC. Who
right.
takes precedence? Is it the COMELEC now in charge or is it equal?
Well, in the ordinary course of things, Kuya Sito, it's the LGU that gives the permit to rally. Ang sa amin is we give the permission to rally upon proof of their compliance with health protocol. So it would seem that precedence would be accorded to the LGU. But here's the thing: the LGU has a very limited power in terms of denying requests for permit to rally. Ang permit to rally should be given except this is where they're able to deny it, except where another permit has been granted for the same place and the same at the same time for the same purpose. So for
Mhm.
example, na gusto ko mag-rally sa kalye dito sa harapan ng ng office, pag may nag-rally na pag may naka-permit na diyan for the same day, same time, hindi na ako pwedeng pagbigyan because I'd
Mhm.
be overlapping that, no? And even then, even when they are denied permission to rally, the parties have recourse to the COMELEC, and the COMELEC can then compel the LGU, again subject to the rule on what is allowable, what is an allowable reason for denial, to actually grant the request for a rally permit.
Yung mga venues, what happens when there is a clear case of a sitting mayor or congressman preventing opponents from using certain venues in their district? Yung bang ay hindi magdi-disinfect, ay hindi ano kami mag tree planting, etc.
Yes, sir.
Does the COMELEC have power to step in regarding those acts?
I believe so, sir. We do have appellate jurisdiction, right? I mean, pag mag-decide sila na ayaw nila bigyan ng permit, the parties will be able to appeal the decision to us. So in that respect, yes, we do have powers to overturn whatever decision the LGU has made. With specific regard to COVID response measures being used as an excuse not to allow rallies, that would have to defer to the ruling of the CCC. If the CCC determines that it is safe to proceed, then the parties will be allowed to proceed.